I'm standing in my daughter's living room, and I can feel 22 years of fatherhood evaporating in real time. Allison is screaming at me, not talking, not arguing, screaming. Her face is red, her hands are shaking, and there are 7 people watching this happen. 7. I counted them while she was working herself up to this moment. Dad, apologize to my father-in-law or get out of my house. Her voice cracks on the last word. Brian, her husband, is standing behind her with his arms crossed. He's trying not to smile. I can see it in the corners of his mouth. His father, Richard Holt, is sitting on the couch I helped Allison pick out 3 years ago. He's watching me like I'm a dog that just pissed on his carpet. I don't move. Allison takes a step closer. Did you hear me? I heard you. Then apologize. I look at Richard. He's 68, silver hair, expensive watch, the kind of tan that comes from golf courses and country clubs. He's leaning back into the cushions, one ankle resting on his knee. Comfortable, entitled. He hasn't said a word since I walked in. Brian clears his throat. Dad. He calls me Dad when other people are around. When it's just us, he calls me Daniel. You really crossed a line this time. I crossed a line. 3 weeks ago, Richard told me my career was service-level work. He said it at a family dinner right in front of Allison and Brian's mother, Patricia. He said commercial property risk assessment was just paperwork for people who couldn't close deals. I didn't respond. I ate my salmon and finished my wine and went home. 2 weeks ago, Brian started asking me for money, not a loan, just money. He said they were restructuring some investments and needed a short-term bridge, $25,000. He said it like he was asking me to pass the salt. I said no. 1 week ago, Allison called me and said I was embarrassing the family and that I needed to adjust my attitude if I wanted to stay part of their lives. I asked her what that meant. She hung up on me. Now I'm here, and she's yelling at me in front of Brian's parents, Brian's brother's wife, and 2 people I don't even recognize. They're all dressed like they're going to a charity auction. I'm wearing jeans and a flannel shirt because Allison told me this was a casual family dinner. It wasn't. This was an ambush. I'm waiting, Allison says. Her voice is quieter now, but it's the kind of quiet that's worse than yelling. It's controlled, rehearsed. I look at her. Really look at her. She's 28 years old. She's wearing a cream-colored dress that probably cost more than my mortgage payment. Her hair is perfect. Her makeup is perfect. She looks like a stranger. You want me to apologize to him? I ask. Yes. For what? For being disrespectful. I didn't say anything. You walked out of dinner last week without saying goodbye. I wait a beat. That's what this is about? Brian steps forward. He's 6'2", broad shoulders, the kind of guy who played college football and still talks about it. You insulted my father. I didn't insult anyone. You walked out. I left. Same thing. It's not. Richard finally speaks. His voice is smooth, measured, the kind of voice that's used to being obeyed. Daniel, I think we all know what happened here. You felt slighted by something I said, and instead of addressing it like an adult, you acted like a child. I don't respond. Now, my son and your daughter are trying to build a life together, and you're making that difficult. So I think the least you can do is acknowledge that your behavior was inappropriate. I look at him. He's still smiling. Not a big smile, just enough to let me know he thinks he's in control. Allison's voice breaks the silence. Dad, please, just apologize so we can move on. I look around the room. Everyone is staring at me. Patricia is clutching her wine glass like she's afraid I'm going to throw something. Brian's brother is recording this on his phone. That's when I realize what this is. This isn't about respect. This isn't about family. This is about power. They want me to submit, publicly. They want me to kneel, metaphorically, so that every time I see these people for the rest of my life, they'll remember this moment. They'll remember that I broke. I look at Richard, then at Brian, then at Allison. I say 3 words, then I walk out. Nobody follows me. Nobody calls after me. I hear the door close behind me, and then I hear the lock click. I get in my truck and sit there for a minute. My hands are shaking. Not from anger, from adrenaline. My heart is pounding so hard I can feel it in my throat. I start the engine and drive home. It's a 20-minute drive, and I don't think about anything. I don't listen to music. I don't make plans. I just drive. When I get home, I pour myself a drink. Bourbon. 3 fingers. I sit on my couch and stare at the wall. The house is quiet. It's always quiet now. My wife died 4 years ago. Cancer. Allison barely showed up for the funeral. She said she couldn't handle it. Brian didn't come at all. He said he had a work thing. I drink the bourbon. Then I pour another. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Allison. "You're not welcome in our lives anymore. Don't contact me again?" I read it 3 times. Then I delete it. I sit there for another hour. The bourbon bottle is half empty when I finally stand up and walk to my office. I have a filing cabinet in the corner. It's full of old documents, contracts, tax returns, things I've kept out of habit more than necessity. I pull out the bottom drawer and start going through it. I'm looking for something specific. It takes me 20 minutes to find it. It's a folder labeled Allison Legal Documents. Inside are copies of everything I signed when I helped her and Brian buy their house. I flip through the pages. Mortgage agreements, title transfers, loan applications. And then I find it. A power of attorney form, dated 3 years ago, signed by me, giving Brian temporary legal authority to act on my behalf for the purpose of co-signing their mortgage. Temporary. I read the fine print. The authorization expired after 6 months. I open my laptop and log into my credit monitoring account. I haven't checked it in a while. I don't usually need to. My credit is good. Always has been. I pull up my report. There are 3 accounts I don't recognize. A credit card, opened 2 years ago. Balance, $18,000. A personal loan, opened 18 months ago. Balance, $32,000. A line of credit, opened 1 year ago. Balance, $45,000. My hands stop shaking. I click on the details. All 3 accounts list me as a cosigner. All 3 accounts list Brian Holt as the primary account holder. I sit back in my chair. I read the screen again. Then I close the laptop. I don't pour another drink. I don't call anyone. I don't do anything. And I just sit there and think. The next morning, I wake up at 6. I didn't sleep much. Maybe 2 hours. I make coffee and sit on my porch and watch the sun come up. My phone is on the table. No new messages, no missed calls. I drink my coffee and think about the numbers. $95,000. That's how much debt Brian accumulated using my name. That's how much he's been paying the minimum on, letting the interest compound, knowing I'd find out eventually. Or maybe he thought I'd never find out. I finish my coffee and go inside. I shower, shave, get dressed. Khakis and a button-down shirt. I look at myself in the mirror. I look tired, older than 52. I grab my keys and drive to the county assessor's office. It takes me 40 minutes to get there. The building is downtown, concrete and glass, the kind of place that smells like old paper and air conditioning. I park in the visitor lot and walk inside. The clerk at the front desk is a woman in her 50s. She's wearing a name tag that says Brenda. "Help you?" she asks. I need to pull a property record. "Address?" I give her Allison's address. She types it into her computer. "What are you looking for?" "Title history." She clicks a few more times, then prints out a sheet. She hands it to me. $3. I pay her and walk outside. I sit in my truck and read the document. The house is titled in Allison's name. That's correct, but there's a notation at the bottom. A lien. Filed 8 months ago. By Richard Holt. I read it again. Richard Holt placed a lien on my daughter's house. I pull out my phone and call a guy I used to work with. His name is Greg. He's a real estate attorney now, but back in the day, we both worked for the same insurance company doing commercial risk assessments. He answers on the 3rd ring. "Daniel, Jesus, it's been a while. I need a favor." "Sure, what's up?" "I need you to look at a lien filing for me." "What kind of lien?" "Personal, against a residential property." "Send me the details." I take a picture of the document and text it to him. "Got it," he says. "Give me an hour." I hang up and sit there. I don't turn on the radio. I don't check my email. I just sit. Greg calls me back 50 minutes later. "Daniel, where did you get this?" "County records." "This is your daughter's house." "I know." "Did she tell you about this?" "No." He's quiet for a second. "Okay. So, the lien is legitimate. It's filed as a secured debt. Richard Holt loaned them money, and they used the house as collateral." "How much money?" $120,000. I close my eyes. "When?" 8 months ago. "And if they don't pay?" "He can foreclose." "On my daughter." "Yeah." I thank him and hang up. I sit in the truck for another 10 minutes. Then I drive home. When I get there, I go back to my filing cabinet. This time I pull out a different folder. It's labeled Professional Contacts. Inside are business cards, phone numbers, email addresses, people I've worked with over the years. Insurance adjusters, contractors, building inspectors, union reps, and one other name, Tommy Volker. I haven't talked to Tommy in 6 years. Last time I saw him, He was getting out of the business. He used to work logistics for a construction union. He knew how to move things, how to find things, how to make problems disappear without anyone noticing. He wasn't a criminal, he was just efficient. I pull out his card. The number's probably disconnected, but I try it anyway. It rings 4 times. Then someone picks up. Yeah? Tommy? Who's this? Daniel Mercer. Silence. Then, Jesus, Mercer, it's been a minute. I know. What do you need? Information. On? Brian Holt. Who's that? My son-in-law. Tommy laughs. Family stuff? That's not really my area. It's not family stuff. What is it? Fraud, theft, extortion, maybe. He's quiet for a second. You serious? Yeah. All right. Give me his details. I tell him everything. Name, age, employer, address. Everything. I'll call you back, Tommy says. Then he hangs up. I sit down and wait. It's 3 in the afternoon when my phone rings. Got something, Tommy says. Already? Your boy's not as clean as he thinks. He's got a reputation. For what? Cutting corners. Playing games with contracts. There's a site manager in Patterson who says Brian screwed him out of a bonus last year. Another guy in Newark says Brian took credit for his work. That's it? No, there's more. Brian's company is getting audited. Internal audit. Somebody flagged some invoices that don't add up. When? Started 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Right around the time Brian asked me for money. Thanks, Tommy. You need anything else? Not yet. Call me if you do. I hang up and sit back. I'm starting to see the shape of this. Brian's in trouble at work. He needs money. He used my credit to cover his debts. And when I wouldn't give him more, he and Allison decided to cut me out. But there's something else. Richard. Richard filed a lien on their house 8 months ago. That's not something you do for family. That's something you do when you don't trust them. Which means Richard knows Brian's a risk. Which means Richard's not trying to help them, he's trying to own them. I stand up and walk to the window. It's getting dark outside. The streetlights are coming on. I think about Allison screaming at me. I think about Brian smirking. I think about Richard sitting on that couch, watching me like I was nothing. And I realize something. I'm not angry anymore. I'm calm. I stopped thinking like a father. That's when things got easier. Before we go any further, hit the hype button, take a second to subscribe and like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And tell us in the comments, what would you do in this situation? I spend the next 3 days doing nothing. That's not entirely true. I'm doing things. I'm just not doing anything that looks like I'm doing things. I go to work, I assess properties, I write reports. I have lunch with a broker who's trying to get me to underwrite a strip mall in Paramus. I tell him I'll think about it. I don't think about it. At night, I sit in my office and make lists. The first list is everything I know about Brian, where he works, who he reports to, what projects he's managing, what his responsibilities are. The second list is everything I know about Richard, his business, his properties, his partnerships, his reputation. The third list is everything I know about Allison, her job, her clients, her social circle, her income. I don't write any of this down. I just memorize it. On Thursday, I get a call from Tommy. You still interested in Brian? He asks. Yeah, he's got a problem. I'm listening. There's a construction site in Bayonne, commercial build. Brian's the operations manager. The site's 3 weeks behind schedule and $200,000 over budget. Why? Materials. They ordered premium concrete and got standard. Paid for premium. Where did the money go? That's the question, isn't it? You think Brian took it? I think somebody did, and Brian's the guy signing the invoices. Who knows about this? Right now, the auditors. But it's going to go public soon. The contractor's pissed. He's talking about filing a complaint with the state licensing board. When? Next week. Maybe sooner. I thank him and hang up. I sit there for a minute. Then I open my laptop and search for the contractor's name. It takes me 10 minutes to find his phone number. I call him. Brennan Construction, a woman answers. Is Mr. Brennan available? Who's calling? Daniel Mercer. I'm a risk assessor. I'm working on a project that involves one of his sites. Hold on. I wait. A minute later, a man picks up. Brennan. Mr. Brennan, my name is Daniel Mercer. I'm an independent risk assessor. I'm calling about the Bayonne project. What about it? I understand there's been some issues with material quality. He doesn't answer right away. Then, who told you that? I can't disclose my sources, but I'm working with a client who's considering a similar contract with your supplier, and I need to verify some information. What do you need to know? Did you receive premium grade concrete or standard? Standard. But you paid for premium? Yes. How much was the difference? $180,000. And who authorized the payment? The operations manager, Brian Holt. I write that down. Have you filed a complaint? Not yet, but I'm about to. When? Monday. Thank you, Mr. Brennan. I hang up. Monday. That gives me 4 days. I spend the rest of Thursday and all of Friday making phone calls. I talk to 3 other contractors who've worked with Brian. 2 of them have complaints, minor stuff, delayed payments, incorrect invoices, nothing that would sink him on its own. But together, it's a pattern. On Saturday, I drive to Bayonne. The construction site is easy to find. It's a half-finished office building, 6 stories, concrete and glass. There's a chain-link fence around the perimeter and a sign that says, Brennan Construction, Holt Regional Management. I park across the street and watch. It's a Saturday, so the site is mostly empty. There's a security guard in a booth near the entrance, but he's not paying attention. He's on his phone. I wait. At 11, a black SUV pulls up to the gate. The guard waves it through without checking the driver. The SUV parks near the main entrance, and Brian gets out. He's wearing jeans and a polo shirt. He's carrying a briefcase. He walks into the building. I wait 20 minutes. Then I get out of my truck and walk across the street. The guard looks up when I approach. Help you? I'm here to see Brian Holt. He expecting you? No, but I'm his father-in-law. Family emergency. The guard hesitates. Then he picks up a radio. Mr. Holt, you got a visitor. The radio crackles. Who? Says he's your father-in-law. There's a long pause. Then, send him in. The guard waves me through. I walk into the building. It smells like sawdust and fresh paint. The interior is unfinished. Bare concrete floors, exposed wiring, plastic sheeting over the windows. Brian is standing in the middle of the lobby. He's not smiling. What are you doing here? He asks. I walk toward him slowly. We need to talk. I don't think we do. I think we do. He crosses his arms. Allison told you not to contact us. She did? So why are you here? Because I want to understand something. Understand what? Why you used my credit to open 3 accounts without telling me. His face doesn't change, but his eyes do. Just a flicker. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. You need to leave. I take another step closer. We're 15 feet apart now. $18,000 on a credit card, $32,000 on a personal loan, $45,000 on a line of credit, all in my name, all with you as the primary holder. He doesn't say anything. You used a power of attorney I signed 3 years ago, except that power of attorney expired after 6 months, which means you committed fraud. He stares at me. You can't prove that. I already did. I pulled the records. I have copies of everything. So what? You going to call the cops? No. Then why are you here? Because I want to give you a chance to fix this. He laughs. It's a short, bitter sound. Fix it? You think I have $95,000 sitting around? I think you have other problems. His smile fades. Like what? Like the Bayonne project. Like the missing $180,000. Like the complaint Brennan's filing on Monday. He doesn't move, but I can see his jaw tighten. Oh, how do you know about that? I know a lot of things. He takes a step toward me. You need to leave, now. I don't move. You're going to lose your job, Brian, and when you do, you're going to lose the house. And when you lose the house, Allison's going to lose everything, because Richard's lien is going to foreclose. Richard's helping us. Richard's owning you. Brian's hands curl into fists. Get out. I will. But first, I need you to understand something. What? You made this personal. You brought me into your house and humiliated me in front of your family. You made my daughter scream at me. You made me feel small, and I'm not going to forget that. He steps closer. We're 5 feet apart now. You threatening me? No, I'm just letting you know. Know what? That I'm not your father-in-law anymore. I'm something else. He stares at me. You're crazy. Maybe. I turn and walk out. Behind me, I hear him say something, but I don't catch it. I don't care. I get in my truck and drive away. When I get home, I call Tommy again. Yeah? He answers. I need something else. What? I need to know who Richard Holt does business with. Specifically, I need to know if he has any partners who are vulnerable. Vulnerable how? Legal issues. Financial issues. Reputation issues. You planning something? Maybe. Tommy's quiet for a second. This is getting complicated, Mercer. I know. You sure you want to go down this road? Yeah. All right, give me a few days. I hang up. That night, I sit on my porch and drink bourbon. It's cold outside, November in New Jersey, the kind of cold that gets into your bones. I think about Allison. I think about the first time I held her. She was 6 pounds, 4 ounces. She had my wife's eyes. I remember thinking I'd do anything to protect her. I don't think that anymore. Now I'm just trying to figure out how much damage I'm willing to do. On Sunday, I get a text from an unknown number. This is Patricia. We need to talk. Patricia. Brian's mother. I don't respond. 2 hours later, she calls. I answer. Daniel, thank you for picking up. What do you want, Patricia? I want to talk about what happened last week. There's nothing to talk about. I think there is. I think we all said things we didn't mean. I meant what I said. Daniel, please. This is tearing the family apart. The family tore itself apart. That's not fair. It's accurate. She's quiet for a second. Richard feels terrible about what happened. No, he doesn't. He does. He told me so. Then why hasn't he called me? Because he doesn't think you'll listen. He's right. Daniel, please. Can we just meet? The 4 of us. You, me, Richard, and Brian. We can sit down and talk this through like adults. No. Why not? Because I'm done talking. What does that mean? I hang up. 10 minutes later, Allison calls. I don't answer. She leaves a voicemail. Dad, I don't know what you're trying to do, but you need to stop. You're making this worse. Just leave us alone. I delete it. On Monday, I wake up early. I make coffee and check my email. There's a news alert, local business section. The headline reads, Bayonne Construction Project Under Investigation. I open the article. Brennan Construction has filed a formal complaint with the New Jersey Division of Consumer Affairs, alleging material fraud and contract violations related to a commercial construction project in Bayonne. The complaint names Holt Regional Management, specifically Operations Manager Brian Holt, as responsible for discrepancies in material procurement and budget overruns exceeding $180,000. An investigation is pending. I read it twice. Then I close my laptop. I go to work. I have a meeting with a client at 10. It's a straightforward job, a warehouse in Elizabeth. I spend 2 hours walking through it, taking notes, checking for code violations and safety hazards. When I'm done, I drive back to my office and write the report. At 3, Tommy calls. Got what you need, he says. Go ahead. Richard Holt has 6 business partners. Most of them are clean, but there's one guy, Victor Delgado. He's a real estate developer, owns a bunch of rental properties in Hudson County. What about him? He's got a problem. 2 of his properties failed inspection last month. Serious violations, faulty wiring, structural issues. The city's threatening to condemn them. And Richard's a silent partner in those properties. If they get condemned, Richard loses money. A lot of money. How much? $3 million, maybe more. I write that down. Who knows about this? Right now, just the city inspectors and Delgado. But it's going to go public soon. Delgado's trying to keep it quiet, but he can't fix the problems fast enough. When's the deadline? 2 weeks? Thanks, Tommy. Mercer, what are you doing? I'm not sure yet. Be careful. Richard Holt's not someone you want to mess with. Neither am I. I hang up. That night, I sit in my office and think. Richard has $3 million tied up in properties that are about to be condemned. If that happens, he'll be publicly associated with substandard housing. That's bad for business, bad for reputation, and if I can make that information public at the right time, I can hurt him. But I need to time it perfectly. I open my laptop and start drafting an email. I don't send it, I just write it. Get the wording right. It takes me an hour. When I'm done, I sit back and read it. It's addressed to a local reporter I used to work with. His name is Kevin Dougherty. He covers business and real estate for a regional paper. The email is simple. It provides information about Richard's partnership with Delgado. It includes addresses of the condemned properties. It suggests that Richard may have known about the violations and failed to disclose them to investors. I don't send it yet. I save it as a draft. Then I close my laptop and go to bed. I don't hear from Allison or Brian for a week. That's fine. I'm not expecting to. I go to work. I assess properties. I write reports. I have lunch with a broker who's trying to get me to underwrite a medical office building in Union City. I tell him I'll think about it. I don't think about it. At night, I sit in my office and review everything I know. Brian's fired. His reputation is ruined. No one in the construction industry is going to hire him. Richard's facing a multi-million-dollar lawsuit from Delgado. His partnership is dissolved. His reputation is damaged. Allison's house is still under lien. She has 60 days before Richard can foreclose. The numbers are adding up, but there's still something missing. I'm hurting them, but I'm not destroying them. Not yet. On Thursday, I get a call from Tommy. Mercer, I've got something. What? Brian's trying to sell the house. What? He listed it yesterday. Quiet listing. No sign in the yard. He's trying to move it fast. Can he do that? With Richard's lien? Technically, no. But if he finds a cash buyer and closes before Richard forecloses, he might be able to pay off the lien and keep the difference. How much difference? House is worth $450. Lien is $160. If he sells for full price, they walk away with $290 before closing costs and commissions. Call it $250 after everything. I sit back. That's enough to start over. Yeah. Can you find out who's looking at it? I'll try. I hang up. I sit there and think. If Brian sells the house, he and Allison walk away with $250,000. They can move somewhere cheaper. Brian can rebrand himself, start over, and I'll have accomplished nothing. I can't let that happen. I call Greg. Greg, I need a favor. What? My daughter's house is on the market. I need to know if there's any way to block the sale. Block it how? Legally. Is there a lien on it? Yes. Richard Holt's lien. Then Richard can block it. He'd have to file a motion to prevent the sale until the lien is satisfied. Would he do that? If he thinks he's not going to get paid, yeah. He'd rather take the house than let them sell it. How do I make that happen? You don't. Richard has to decide to do it. What if I gave him a reason? Like what? What if I told him Brian's planning to sell the house and disappear with the money? Greg's quiet for a second. Is he? I don't know, but Richard would believe it. Mercer, that's playing with fire. I know. If Richard files that motion, Allison loses everything. She won't be able to sell. She won't be able to refinance. She'll be stuck. I know. And you're okay with that? Yeah. Greg sighs. All right. If you want to do this, you need to call Richard and tell him. Make it sound like you're trying to help him. Thanks, Greg. I hang up. I sit there and stare at my phone. I'm about to make a call that will destroy my daughter's last chance. I dial Richard's number. He answers on the second ring. Mr. Mercer. Richard, I'm surprised you're calling me. I have information you need. What kind of information? Brian's trying to sell the house. Richard's quiet for a second. I'm aware. Are you aware he's planning to take the money and leave? Leave where? The state, maybe the country. He's got 250,000 reasons to disappear. How do you know this? I have sources. Richard doesn't say anything for a moment. Then, what do you want, Mr. Mercer? Nothing. Then why are you telling me this? Because I don't want Brian to get away with it. You expect me to believe you're doing this out of principle? I expect you to protect your investment. Richard's quiet again. Then, if Brian tries to leave with my money, I'll make sure he regrets it. Then file a motion to block the sale. I'll consider it. Don't consider it. Do it. Mr. Mercer, I don't take orders from you. Then take advice. If you let Brian sell that house, you'll never see your money. Richard hangs up. I sit back. It's done. Now I just have to wait. On Friday, I get a call from Greg. Richard filed the motion. Already? Yeah, he must have called his lawyer the second you hung up. The motion was filed this morning. The sale is blocked until the lien is satisfied. How long does Allison have? 60 days, then Richard can foreclose. And if she can't pay? Then she loses the house. I hang up. I sit there and stare at the wall. I just destroyed my daughter's last option. And I don't feel anything. That afternoon, I get a call from Allison. I don't answer. She calls again and again and again. On the 5th call, I answer. What? She's crying. Dad, what did you do? What are you talking about? Richard blocked the sale. He filed a motion. The buyer backed out. We can't sell the house. Then pay off the lien. We don't have the money. Then you'll lose the house. Dad, please, why are you doing this? I'm not doing anything. Richard's protecting his investment. You told him. You told him we were trying to sell. I gave him information. What he does with it is his choice. You're destroying me. No, Allison, you destroyed yourself. I'm just watching. She's sobbing now. I hate you. I hate you so much. You've said that before. I mean it. I know. I hang up. I sit there for a long time. My phone rings again. It's Brian. I don't answer. He leaves a voicemail. You think you're clever? You think you've won? You haven't won shit. We're going to fight this. We're going to get a lawyer. We're going to sue Richard. And when we win, I'm coming for you. I delete it. That night, I sit on my porch and drink bourbon. The stars are out. It's cold. I can see my breath. I think about what I've done. I've destroyed Brian's career. I've damaged Richard's reputation. I've left Allison with no options. And I don't feel guilty. I feel satisfied. On Saturday, I get a text from Tommy. Heard about the blocked sale? You're playing hardball. I don't respond. 2 hours later, he calls. Mercer, you still there? Yeah. You okay? Yeah. You sure? Because this is getting heavy. I'm sure. All right, just checking. I hang up. Sunday morning, I wake up to someone pounding on my door again. It's not Allison this time. It's Richard. I open the door. He's standing on my porch, hands in his pockets. Calm expression. But I can see the anger in his eyes. Mr. Mercer. Richard. We need to have a conversation. I don't think we do. I think we do. He steps inside without being invited. I close the door. We stand in my living room. He looks around, takes in the old furniture, the worn carpet, the pictures on the wall. Modest, he says. I don't need much. Clearly, he turns to face me. I want to know what your endgame is. I don't have one. Bullshit. Everyone has an endgame. What's yours? I want to watch you lose. Why? Because you treated me like I was nothing. Richard smiles. It's not a friendly smile. And that's worth all of this? Worth destroying your daughter's life? She destroyed it herself. You really believe that? Yeah. Richard steps closer. Let me tell you something, Mr. Mercer. You think you're clever. You think you've outmaneuvered me, but you haven't. You've just delayed the inevitable. Which is? I'm going to foreclose on that house. I'm going to take everything from your daughter, and she's going to blame you. She already does. Good, because it's your fault. I stare at him. Get out of my house. Not yet. I want to make you an offer. I'm not interested. You haven't heard it yet. I don't need to. Richard smiles again. Fine. But when Allison comes to you begging for help, remember this moment. Remember that I gave you a chance to end this. Get out. He turns and walks to the door. He stops and looks back at me. You're a bitter, petty man, Mr. Mercer, and you're going to die alone. Probably, but at least I won't die a fraud. He leaves. I close the door and lock it. I sit down on the couch and stare at the wall. Richard's right about one thing. I am bitter, but I'm not done yet. The next 2 weeks pass in a blur. I go to work, I come home, I sit in my office and plan. I don't hear from Allison. I don't hear from Brian. I don't hear from Richard. The silence is heavy, deliberate. They're regrouping, planning their next move. So am I. On a Tuesday afternoon, I get a call from Tommy. Mercer, I've got something big. What? Brian's father, Richard. He's been hiding assets. What kind of assets? Offshore accounts, shell companies. He's been moving money around for years, trying to avoid taxes and creditors. How do you know this? I've got a source. Someone who used to work for Richard's accountant. They're willing to talk. Why? Because Richard screwed them over. Fired them without severance. They're pissed. Can they prove it? They have documents, bank statements, transfer records. How much money are we talking about? 5 million, maybe more. I sit back. Jesus. Yeah, if this gets out, Richard's finished. The IRS will come after him. Delgado's lawyers will come after him. He'll lose everything. Can you get me copies of those documents? I can try, but it's going to cost. How much? 5,000. I'll wire it to you today? All right, give me a few days. I hang up. I sit there and think. $5 million. Hidden offshore. That's not just tax evasion. That's fraud. If I can prove it, I can destroy Richard completely. But there's a problem. If I go public with this, it'll hurt Allison too. Richard will have no money to pay his debts. The lien on her house will be worthless. She'll lose everything. But that's the point, isn't it? On Thursday, I get a call from Allison. I almost don't answer, but I do. Dad. Her voice is quiet, exhausted. What? I need to talk to you. I'm listening. Not on the phone, in person. Why? Because I need you to see my face when I say this. I hesitate, then, where? Can you come to the house? No. Why not? Because it's not your house anymore. She's quiet for a second. Then, "Can I come to you?" "When?" "Now." I look at the clock. It's 4 in the afternoon. "Fine." She hangs up. 30 minutes later, she pulls into my driveway. She gets out of her car slowly. She looks thinner. Her face is pale. There are dark circles under her eyes. She walks up to the porch and stops at the bottom of the steps. "Can I come in?" "No." "Why not?" "Because I don't trust you." She nods. "Fair." We stand there for a minute. She's staring at the ground. "Dad, I'm sorry." I don't say anything. "I'm sorry for what I said. I'm sorry for how I treated you. I'm sorry for letting Brian use you." "Okay. That's it? Just okay?" "What do you want me to say?" "I want you to forgive me." "I can't do that." She looks up at me. Her eyes are red. "Why not?" "Because you're not sorry. You're desperate." "I am sorry." "You're sorry you got caught. You're sorry you're losing. You're not sorry for what you did." She stares at me. "That's not true." "Yes, it is." She takes a step closer. "Dad, I'm losing everything. My house, my marriage, my life, and you're just standing there watching it happen." "Yes." "Why?" "Because you need to learn." "Learn what?" "That actions have consequences." She starts crying. "I know that. I know that now. But please, please help me. I'll do anything." "Anything?" "Yes." "Divorce Brian." She stops crying. "What?" "Divorce him. Today. Right now. Walk away from him completely." "I can't do that." "Then I can't help you." "Dad, he's my husband. He's a thief and a liar, and he's dragging you down with him." "I love him." "No, you don't. You love the idea of him. You love the status, the image, but you don't love him." She's shaking her head. "You're wrong." "Then prove it. Stay with him. Lose everything. See how long he stays with you when there's nothing left." She stares at me. Then she turns and walks back to her car. She drives away without saying another word. I sit down on the porch and stare at the empty driveway. I should feel something, regret, guilt, something, but I don't. I just feel tired. On Friday, Tommy calls. "I've got the documents." "Already?" "Yeah. Turns out Richard's accountant was sloppy. Left a trail a mile wide." "Can you send them to me?" "I'll email them tonight. Thanks, Tommy." "Mercer, are you sure about this? Once you release these documents, there's no going back." "I'm sure." "All right. It's your call." I hang up. That night, I sit in my office and wait for the email. It comes at 9:30. I open it. There are 12 attachments, bank statements, wire transfer records, corporate filings. I spend 2 hours reviewing them. Tommy was right. Richard's been hiding money for years. Shell companies in the Cayman Islands, accounts in Switzerland, transfers to offshore trusts. It's all there. I forward the email to Kevin Dougherty. Subject line: Richard Holt, offshore assets. Then I close my laptop and go to bed. I sleep better than I have in weeks. On Monday morning, the story breaks. The headline reads, "Local businessman Richard Holt under investigation for tax fraud. Millions in hidden assets uncovered." I read the article. It's detailed, thorough. Kevin used every document I sent him. The article quotes an IRS spokesperson saying they're opening an investigation. It quotes Delgado's lawyer saying they're filing additional claims. It quotes a forensic accountant saying Richard could face criminal charges. I close my laptop and smile. My phone rings. It's Greg. "Daniel, did you see the news?" "Yeah." "Jesus Christ. You really went for the throat." "Yeah." "You know what this means, right?" "Tell me." "Richard's finished. He's going to lose everything. His assets will be frozen. His properties will be seized. The lien on Allison's house is worthless." "So she loses the house?" "Yeah, but not to Richard. To the bank. They'll foreclose when the lien gets dissolved." "How long does she have?" 90 days. Maybe less." "Thanks, Greg." I hang up. I sit there and think. Allison has 90 days. That's longer than I expected. But not long enough for her to save herself. On Tuesday, I get a call from a number I don't recognize. "Hello?" "Mr. Mercer, this is Detective Lisa Brennan with the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office." I sit up. "Yes?" "I'm calling about a complaint we received. A Mr. Brian Holt alleges that you've been harassing him and his family." "That's not true." "He says you've been making threats, interfering with his business, contacting his associates." "I haven't made any threats." "Have you contacted his associates?" "I've spoken to people he's worked with. That's not illegal." "It is if you're doing it with the intent to harm his reputation." I'm not harming his reputation. I'm exposing the truth. Detective Brennan is quiet for a second. Mr. Mercer, I'm going to be direct with you. I've reviewed Mr. Holt's complaint, and frankly, I don't see much substance to it. But I wanted to call you as a courtesy. If Mr. Holt continues to make complaints, I may have to open an investigation. I understand. Good. Just keep your distance from him and his family. I will. She hangs up. I sit there and stare at my phone. Brian's trying to intimidate me, trying to use the police to make me back off. It's not going to work. On Wednesday, I get a text from Allison. Dad, please stop. I don't respond. 2 hours later, she texts again. Brian's talking to a lawyer. He's going to sue you for defamation. I don't respond. That night, she calls. I don't answer her. She leaves a voicemail. Dad, I know you're angry. I know you hate us. But please, please stop. If you keep doing this, we're going to lose everything. We're going to be homeless. Is that what you want? Do you want your daughter living on the street? I delete it. On Thursday, I get a call from Kevin Dougherty. Daniel, I've got an update. What? Richard's been arrested. I sit up. What? The IRS and the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office executed a warrant this morning. They arrested him at his home. He's being charged with tax evasion, wire fraud, and money laundering. How much time is he looking at? If convicted, 10 to 15 years. I lean back in my chair. Jesus. Yeah, this is big, Daniel. You did this. I just gave you the documents. You gave me everything. Without you, Richard would still be hiding his money. Good. Kevin's quiet for a second. Are you okay? Yeah. You sure? Because this is heavy. I'm sure. All right. If you need anything, let me know. I hang up. I sit there and stare at the wall. Richard's been arrested. He's going to prison, and I put him there. I should feel something. Triumph, satisfaction, something, but I don't. I just feel empty. On Friday, I don't go to work. I call in sick. I spend the day sitting on my porch, drinking bourbon and staring at the trees. My phone rings a few times. I don't answer. At 4 p.m, a car pulls into my driveway. It's Allison. She gets out slowly. She looks worse than last time. Her hair is unwashed. Her clothes are wrinkled. She looks like she hasn't slept in days. She walks up to the porch and stops. Dad. I don't say anything. Richard's in jail. I know. He's probably going to prison. I know. Brian's been served with a subpoena. They want him to testify. Good. She stares at me. You did this? Yes. You destroyed him. Yes. Why? Because he deserved it. And what about me? Did I deserve this? I look at her. Yes. She starts crying. I'm your daughter. You were my daughter. Now you're just someone I used to know. She sinks to her knees on the porch steps. She's sobbing now, uncontrollably. Please, Dad. Please, I'm begging you. Help me. I stand up. No. Why not? Because you made your choice, and now you have to live with it? I walk inside and close the door. I stand there for a minute, listening to her cry. Then I walk away. I don't see Allison for another 3 weeks. That's fine. I'm not looking for her. I go back to work. I assess properties. I write reports. I have lunch with clients. I pretend like nothing happened, but something did happen. I destroyed my daughter's life, and her father-in-law's life, and her husband's life, and I did it deliberately, methodically, without hesitation. At night, I sit in my office and review everything one more time. Richard's in jail, awaiting trial. His assets are frozen. His reputation is ruined. Brian's unemployed and unemployable. He's being subpoenaed as a witness in Richard's trial. His marriage is falling apart. Allison's house is in foreclosure. The bank is moving forward with the sale. She has 60 days before she's evicted. I've won. But there's still something missing. I haven't seen them break. Not completely. I haven't seen them realize that they lost everything because of their own choices. I haven't seen them understand what they did to me, and I need to see that. On a Tuesday afternoon, I get a call from Tommy. Mercer, I've got something. What? Brian and Allison are moving out of the house? When? This weekend. I've got a source who says they're renting a U-Haul on Saturday. Where are they going? Don't know, but it's probably somewhere cheap. Can you find out? I'll try. I hang up. I sit there and think. They're leaving, running, trying to start over somewhere else. I can't let that happen, not yet. On Thursday, I get a call from Tommy again. Found it. Where? They're renting an apartment in Patterson. Small place, $800 a month. It's a dump. Address? He gives it to me. Thanks, Tommy. Mercer, what are you planning? Nothing. Bullshit, what are you planning? I'm just going to talk to them. Talk to them about what? About what they did. Tommy's quiet for a second. Be careful, man. You've pushed them pretty far. They might push back. Let them. I hang up. On Saturday morning, I drive to Patterson. The address Tommy gave me is a 4-story walk-up in a rundown neighborhood. The building is old, brick, and crumbling concrete. There's graffiti on the walls. The front door is propped open with a broken chair. I park across the street and wait. At 10:30, a U-Haul pulls up. Brian gets out, then Allison. They start unloading boxes. I wait until they're halfway through. Then I get out of my truck and walk across the street. Brian sees me first. He stops in the middle of carrying a box. His face goes hard. What the hell are you doing here? Allison turns around. When she sees me, she drops the box she's holding. Dad? I walk up to them slowly. I wanted to see where you ended up. Brian steps in front of Allison. You need to leave, now. Why? This is a public street. Because I'll call the cops. Go ahead. He pulls out his phone, starts dialing. I don't move. A minute later, a patrol car pulls up. 2 officers get out. Someone call about a disturbance? One of them asks. Brian points at me. This man is harassing us. The officer looks at me. Sir, are you harassing these people? No, I'm just standing here. He's my father-in-law, Allison says. We have a restraining order against him. The officer looks at me again. Is that true? I don't know. Do you? The officer looks at Allison. Do you have the restraining order with you? No, it's inside. Then I can't enforce it. Sir, I'm going to ask you to leave. I'm on a public sidewalk. Sir, if you don't leave, I'm going to arrest you for disorderly conduct. I stare at the officer, then at Brian, then at Allison. Fine. I turn and walk back to my truck. I drive around the block and park 2 streets over. I wait. 2 hours later, the U-Haul is empty. Brian drives it away. Allison's still standing outside the building. She's smoking a cigarette. I didn't know she smoked. I get out of my truck and walk back. She sees me coming. She doesn't run. She doesn't call for help. She just stands there and watches me approach. You don't give up, do you? She says. No. What do you want? I want to know if you understand. Understand what? What you did to me. She takes a drag from her cigarette. I understand that you hate me. I don't hate you. Then what is this? This is consequences. She laughs. It's a bitter, broken sound. Consequences, right. You destroyed my life because I yelled at you. I didn't destroy your life. You destroyed it yourself. How? By choosing Brian over me, by letting him steal from me, by letting Richard humiliate me, by standing there and watching it happen. She stares at me. I didn't know Brian stole from you. Yes, you did. I didn't. You knew something was wrong. You knew Brian was desperate for money. You knew he was making bad decisions, and you didn't care, because it was easier to blame me. She's quiet now. You made a choice, Allison. You chose image over integrity. You chose comfort over honesty. You chose them over me, and now you're paying for it. And you're happy about that? No, I'm just satisfied. She drops her cigarette and steps on it. You're a monster. Maybe, but at least I'm honest. She turns and walks into the building. I stand there for a minute. Then I walk back to my truck. I sit there and stare at the building. I should feel something. Closure, vindication, something. But I don't. I just feel tired. I drive home. That night, I sit in my office and think about what's left. Richard's in jail. Brian's unemployed. Allison's living in a dump in Patterson. I've hurt them. Badly. But they are not broken yet. And I need them to be broken. On Monday, I get a call from Greg. Daniel, I've got bad news. What? Richard's making a deal. What kind of deal? He's cooperating with the prosecutor. He's giving up information on his partners, his accountant, everyone. In exchange, they're reducing his sentence. To what? 3 years. Maybe less if he testifies. Jesus. Yeah, and there's more. What? Part of his deal includes paying restitution to Delgado. The court is seizing his remaining assets and liquidating them. That includes the lien on Allison's house. So the lien gets paid off? Yeah, the bank's lien becomes the primary lien. Allison gets another 90 days. So she's safe? For now. I hang up. I sit there and think. Richard's cooperating, making a deal. He's going to serve 3 years and get out. He's going to testify against everyone who trusted him, and Allison gets more time. This isn't over, not yet. On Tuesday, I get a call from Tommy. Mercer, you need to hear this. What? Brian's talking. Talking to who? To everyone. He's telling people you're crazy, that you're stalking him, that you're trying to destroy his life. I am trying to destroy his life. Yeah, but he's making himself sound like the victim, and people are believing him. I don't care. You should, because he's building a case. He's talking to lawyers. He's gathering evidence. He's going to sue you. For what? Defamation, harassment, tortious interference. Whatever sticks. Let him try. Mercer, I'm serious. If he sues you, you could lose everything. I don't have anything to lose. Tommy's quiet for a second. You're really going to take this all the way, aren't you? Yeah. Why? Because I need to. Need to what? Finish it. I hang up. On Wednesday, I get a text from an unknown number. This is Brian. We need to talk. I don't respond. 2 hours later, he calls. I answer. What? We need to meet. Why? Because this has to stop. I agree. Stop stealing from people. Stop lying. Stop pretending you're a victim. I'm not pretending. You've been harassing me for months. You've destroyed my career. You've ruined my reputation. You've driven my wife into the ground. I didn't do any of that. You did? Bullshit. You stole from me, Brian. You committed fraud. You mismanaged construction projects. You lied to contractors. All I did was expose the truth. You went after Richard. Richard deserved it. He's my father. He's a criminal. Brian's quiet for a second. Then, you know what? Fine. You want to play this game? Let's play. I'm filing a lawsuit against you tomorrow. I'm going to take everything you have. I don't have anything. Then I'll take your reputation. I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of person you are. Go ahead. I don't care. Yes, you do. You care about being right. You care about being the victim. You care about making everyone else suffer because you're miserable. And you care about money and status and image. You care about pretending you're something you're not. Brian doesn't say anything. The difference between us, Brian, is that I'm honest about who I am. You're not. He hangs up. I sit there and stare at my phone. Brian's going to sue me. Good. Let him try. On Thursday, I get a call from a lawyer's office. Mr. Mercer, this is Jennifer Kwan from Hastings and Associates. I represent Brian Holt. I'm calling to inform you that we're filing a civil suit against you for defamation, harassment, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Okay. You'll be served with a complaint within the next few days. I'd advise you to retain counsel. I don't need counsel. Mr. Mercer, I strongly advise you to reconsider. I'll represent myself. That's your right, but I should warn you, Mr. Holt is seeking significant damages. How much? $2 million, I laugh. Good luck collecting. Mr. Mercer, this isn't a joke. I know, but it's funny anyway. I hang up. $2 million. Brian thinks I have $2 million. He's an idiot. On Friday, a process server shows up at my house. He hands me an envelope. You've been served. I take it and close the door. I open the envelope and read the complaint. It's 20 pages. It alleges that I engaged in a coordinated campaign to destroy Brian's life, that I contacted his employers, his colleagues, his clients, that I provided false information to journalists, that I caused him severe emotional distress. It's bullshit, but it's detailed bullshit. I put the complaint on my desk and pour myself a drink. I think about what comes next. Brian's going to take me to court. He's going to try to prove I harassed him, and I'm going to prove he's a liar and a thief. This is going to be fun. The lawsuit moves slowly. That's fine. I'm not in a hurry. I spend the next month preparing. I pull together every document I have. Bank statements, credit reports, emails, text messages, call logs, everything. I also reach out to Lou Peretti, the site manager who went on record about Brian. I ask him if he's willing to testify. He says yes. I reach out to Brennan, the contractor. Same question, same answer. I reach out to Tommy's source, the former accountant who gave up Richard's offshore accounts. He says he'll testify too. By the end of the month, I have 4 witnesses lined up, all of them willing to testify that Brian's a fraud. On a Wednesday afternoon, I get a call from Jennifer Kwan, Brian's lawyer. Mr. Mercer, I'm calling to discuss a potential settlement. I'm not interested. Mr. Mercer, I think you should hear the offer. I don't care what the offer is. Mr. Holt is willing to drop the lawsuit if you agree to stop contacting him, his wife, and anyone associated with their family or business. No. Mr. Mercer, this is a generous offer. It's not generous. It's desperate. Excuse me? Brian knows he's going to lose. He knows I have evidence. He knows his reputation is already ruined. He's trying to save face. That's not true. Yes, it is. Jennifer's quiet for a second. Then, Mr. Mercer, if you refuse this settlement, we will proceed to trial. And I promise you, we will win. No, you won't. Yes, we will. We have documented evidence of your harassment. We have testimony from multiple witnesses. We have a strong case. So do I. Mr. Mercer, I strongly advise you to reconsider. I'm not reconsidering anything. I hang up. That night, I sit in my office and think about the trial. It's going to be public. Everything I did will come out. Everything Brian did will come out. Everything Richard did will come out. Allison's going to be dragged through it. Good. She needs to see what she married. On Thursday, I get a call from Allison. I almost don't answer, but I do. Dad. What? Brian told me you refused the settlement. That's right. Why? Because I want this to go to trial. Dad, if this goes to trial, it's going to be public. Everyone is going to know what happened. Everyone is going to know what Brian did, what Richard did, what I did. I know. And you want that? Yeah. Why? Because I want everyone to see the truth. The truth? The truth is that you're destroying us. No, Allison. The truth is that you destroyed yourselves. I'm just making sure everyone knows it. She's crying now. Dad, please, please don't do this. It's already done. Dad, I'm begging you. Please, just stop. Just let us go. No. Why not? Because you haven't learned yet. Learned what? That actions have consequences. She hangs up. I sit there and stare at my phone. She's still not getting it. She's still blaming me. But she will. Eventually, they all will. On Friday, I get a call from Kevin Dougherty. Daniel, I heard about the lawsuit. Yeah. You're representing yourself? Yeah. Why? Because I don't need a lawyer. Daniel, you're up against a law firm. They're going to eat you alive. Let them try. Kevin's quiet for a second. Then, you know this is going to be public, right? Everything you did is going to come out. I know. And you're okay with that? Yeah. Why? Because I didn't do anything wrong. Daniel, you destroyed 3 people's lives. I exposed the truth. There's a difference. Kevin doesn't say anything for a moment. Then, all right, if you need anything, let me know. I hang up. On Monday, I get a letter from the court. The trial date is set for 6 weeks from now. I spend the next 6 weeks preparing. I review every document. I rehearse my testimony. I prepare cross-examination questions for Brian. I don't sleep much, maybe 3 or 4 hours a night. But I'm focused. This is it, the final act. The 2 days before the trial, I get a call from Tommy. Mercer, you ready for this? Yeah. You sure? Because once this starts, there's no going back. I know. All right. Good luck, man. Thanks. The day before the trial, I sit in my office and go over everything one more time. I think about Allison, about the day she was born, about teaching her how to ride a bike, about her high school graduation. I think about my wife, about how proud she would have been, and I think about how disappointed she'd be in what I've become, but I don't stop, because I can't. Not now. The trial starts on a Wednesday morning. The courtroom is small, about 30 seats. Half of them are filled. Allison is sitting in the back row, alone. Brian's sitting up front with his lawyer. I'm sitting at the defendant's table, alone. The judge enters. Everyone stands. Be seated, she says. The trial begins. Brian's lawyer gives her opening statement. She talks about how I engaged in a campaign of harassment, how I contacted Brian's employers, how I provided false information to journalists, how I caused Brian and Allison severe emotional distress. She makes me sound like a monster. Then it's my turn. I stand up and walk to the front of the courtroom. I don't have notes. I don't have a prepared speech. I just tell the truth. Your Honor, my name is Daniel Mercer. I'm 52 years old. I'm a commercial property risk assessor. I'm a father. And I'm here today because my son-in-law stole from me. I pause. Brian Holt used a power of attorney I signed 3 years ago to open credit accounts in my name. He accumulated $95,000 in debt without my knowledge or consent. When I confronted him, he didn't apologize. He didn't try to make it right. He got angry, and he and my daughter humiliated me in front of their entire family. I look at Brian. After that, I started asking questions. I talked to people Brian worked with. I talked to contractors he'd screwed over. I talked to people who knew the truth about him, and I shared that truth with journalists. I turned back to the judge. I didn't harass Brian. I exposed him. There's a difference. And if he suffered emotional distress, it's because he's finally facing the consequences of his own actions. I sit down. The judge looks at Brian's lawyer. Call your first witness. Brian's lawyer calls Brian. He takes the stand. He's wearing a suit. He looks nervous. She asks him about the confrontation at his house, about the phone calls, about the news articles. He answers carefully. He makes himself sound like a victim. Then it's my turn to cross-examine. I stand up and walk toward the witness stand. Mr. Holt, did you or did you not use my credit to open 3 accounts without my permission? I had a power of attorney. That power of attorney expired after 6 months. You used it 3 years later. Did you or did you not commit fraud? I didn't commit fraud. Then how do you explain the $95,000 in debt? I was trying to help my family. By stealing from your father-in-law? Brian's lawyer stands up. Objection. Argumentative. The judge nods. Sustained. Rephrase, Mr. Mercer. Mr. Holt, did you ask my permission before using my credit? No. Did you tell me you were using my credit? No. So you used my credit without my knowledge or consent? I thought you wouldn't mind. You thought I wouldn't mind you stealing from me? Objection, Brian's lawyer says. Sustained. I step back. No further questions. Brian's lawyer calls her next witness. It's Patricia, Brian's mother. She testifies that I've been harassing the family, that I've been making threats, that I've been causing distress. I don't cross-examine her. Then Brian's lawyer calls Allison. Allison takes the stand. She looks terrible, thin, pale. Her hands are shaking. Brian's lawyer asks her about the confrontation at her house, about the news articles, about the emotional distress. Allison answers quietly. She doesn't look at me. Then it's my turn. I stand up and walk toward the witness stand. Ms. Holt, did you know your husband used my credit without my permission? She doesn't answer right away. Then, no. Are you sure? Yes. Ms. Holt, did you know your husband was being investigated for fraud at his job? Yes. Did you know he was about to be fired? Yes. Did you ask him where the money went? She doesn't answer. Ms. Holt, did you ask your husband where the $180,000 went? He said it was a mistake. And you believed him? Yes. Even though he'd been lying to you for months? Objection, Brian's lawyer says. Sustained. I step back. No further questions. The trial continues for 3 more days. I call Lou Peretti. He testifies about Brian screwing him out of a bonus. I call Brennan. He testifies about the missing money on the Bayonne project. I call Tommy Source, the former accountant. He testifies about Richard's offshore accounts. Brian's lawyer tries to discredit them. She argues that their testimony is irrelevant, that it doesn't prove I didn't harass Brian. But it proves something else. It proves Brian's a liar. On the 4th day, the judge delivers her verdict. After reviewing the evidence and testimony, I find that Mr. Mercer did engage in conduct that caused emotional distress to Mr. Holt. However, I also find that Mr. Mercer's actions were motivated by legitimate grievances and that Mr. Holt's own conduct contributed significantly to the situation. She pauses. Therefore, I am ruling in favor of Mr. Mercer. The lawsuit is dismissed. Brian's face goes white. Allison starts crying. I stand up and walk out of the courtroom.